Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. My name is Zach Kennedy. I'm home marketing specialist and realtor with eXp Realty in Birmingham and also with Get a Real Estate Life with Jacob Williams and Jenny Williams. And today I wanted to answer a question that I've gotten a few times in the last couple weeks, and also go ahead and just share this on this live forum with some of my real estate agent friends that want to know how to run a Facebook ad for a new listing. So you may have a new listing and what you're seeing is that not as many homes hit the market and immediately go under contract. So you'd like your new listing to have a little bit of juice behind it as soon as it goes on the market. Maybe you have a property that you've spoken with the listing agent about, and the listing agent has given you permission to showcase their listing, to advertise their listing in hopes to bring a buyer. Or maybe you're talking to some for sale by owners and trying to figure out ways that you can help them and potentially even bring a buyer to their listing or get the listing yourself. So I wanted to show you really the simplest Facebook ad that I have found, and also show you some tricks and some secret sauce that we have learned in the process of spending tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to kind of do an example of how we post a listing, and then how we run an advertisement behind that listing, pushing people to your real estate website. No matter what company you are affiliated with, you probably have a brokerage provided website where all of the listings in your MLS are featured on that website, and you can drive traffic to the link and generate your own leads. So as we come into a bit more of a balanced market where homes tend to stay on the market a little bit longer, of course there are properties that have 40 showings and sell for $20,000 over asking price still. But if you are in a situation where you really want to, as soon as your listing goes active, you want to really put some juice behind it, I want to show you a very simple way that you can run a cheap Facebook ad and drive traffic to your website, and hopefully generate some leads for yourself, generate some interest on the property, perhaps even bring a buyer to your listing if that's allowed in your state. And so I'm going to share my screen and show my favorite way to run just a $25 boosted post on Facebook. I realize that there may be some people that have more experience with Facebook advertising that say, oh, well, a boosted post is, money wasted, but I could not disagree more. And two reasons for that. One is that by doing the ad the way we're going to do it, we are doing exactly what Facebook wants, which is getting people to engage with content. So Facebook is going to show our post to more people. And number two, we really have to be realistic about what real estate agents are going to actually do. So not every real estate agent wants to become an expert in Facebook advertising. They just want to get some buzz going for their listing. So we're going to show you a very simple and scalable method so that you can use this for every listing that you have forever. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you a very simple way to run a Facebook ad for your newest listing. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we come to Facebook, and I'm just going to go ahead and give you the secret sauce right up front, and that is the copy structure that we use for our posts. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually post this to our Facebook business page. And if you need to set up a Facebook business page, that's really simple. There are tons of resources online, especially YouTube, that will walk you through how to create a Facebook business page. Okay, so this is the copy structure that we're going to want to use. We have tried and tested several different copy structures to try to figure out which one performs best, and this structure performs the absolute best. So what you're going to have is, and I'll zoom in to make it a little bit clearer for you. So what you're going to have at the start is you're going to check in to a location. Most often this will just be the city that the listing is in. And then you can put any kind of little emoji here at the start excuse me, you want to put a little emoji here. Just a house emoji is fine, or maybe like the emoji of the round face with the hearts in the eyes. That's a good one too. And then if this is a new listing, something like hashtag fresh on the market is a really good hashtag to use at the start. This is really just because it attracts the eye. It's different. And it shows above the fold, they say. So you'll see like some posts you've seen where the copy or the words are such that there's a see more button, but maybe the text kind of runs into that see more button. But this line here will all show up above that see more button, so that as people are scrolling through Facebook, they can quickly and easily see the headline, and they'll want to engage with the post to literally see more. So you'll use an emoji and you'll use a hashtag like fresh on the market or just listed or hashtag new listing. And then you can put the beds and the baths and then the location that the house is in. And you can even put a hashtag in front of that location. So I wouldn't go too many characters over this so that it sits above that see more fold. I'm also not putting the exact price of the house. I'm actually putting whatever kind of the most whole or round number above the list price is. So if it's 475, I might say this is under 500,000. Or if it's 425,000, I might say it's under 450,000. And the reason for that, though it can be a bit frustrating for the consumer, we understand, but we're marketers here, we're salespeople. We need people to engage with us so that we can gauge their interest and ultimately help them. So what we're doing by not giving the exact price, but given that whole number that's above it, this is actually scientifically proven. You can look up the data on this, but the practice is called price anchoring. So what we're doing is, if this listing was, for example, for 475,000, by saying that it's under 500,000, I'm anchoring the price of 500,000 in the consumer's mind, so that when they click on the link and go see the property on my real estate website and they see that it's 475,000, well, I've already anchored that price of 500, and so them seeing 475,000 is less. They're starting to think, okay, that's a better price than what was already anchored in my head. So you can look up the data for that. There's tons of research about that it's proven to be effective. And so the next thing we want to do is 3 columns of the listing description, essentially. So whenever you write your listing description, if you're not super good at that, I would encourage you to try ChatGPT. You've probably seen that going around recently. It's extremely effective, very powerful tool. And you can type in, write me a listing description for 123 Main Street. And a lot of the times it's going to give you a extremely effective listing description, so that you can use that, tinker with it, alter it some to come up with the best effective listing description for your property. So once you have your listing description, what I recommend you do is paste, if not the whole thing, most of it here in this copy, and then break this up into 3 paragraphs. You'll also see that I have links to my real estate website. We use KV Core at my company, and so when we go and select the page for the listing, we have the option to use a short link. If this is not available to you, you don't want some big, huge, ugly link URL in your post. So you can use a website called Bitly to shorten that link. So you can take the full link on your website and just copy and paste it into the field on Bitly. That's Bitly. You can Google that and find the website, and it will actually shorten that link for you. So it will go to the same place. It's just shortening that link so it's not big, huge, and ugly, and no pun intended, but taking up a lot of real estate in your post. So you'll see that I have 2 options within the post, one right after the headline and then one right after all the description, because I'm giving people two opportunities to click the link and actually go to my website. So when I include two, that doubles the chances that somebody's going to actually click the link, because they might just read the headline and be interested and want to see more. So they click the link to go to my website, or they actually might want to read all of the text. And then after they finish that, I have another link for them to click to go to my website. This is Jenny Williams' magic question. So the magic question, and this is a part of our six-figure intensity course that we do periodically. The magic question is, what three people do you know looking for a new home in the next 60 days? So Jenny always says, you could ask somebody, hey, do you know anybody that needs to buy or sell? And people don't really, they can't come up with anything. You can think of it like when you go into a store when you're shopping, and the person that works at the store comes up and starts asking you a question, and a lot of people are just like, no, just get away. But when you ask for threes, when you ask for it in threes, that's like, it's just different from saying, who do you know that needs to buy or sell? It's saying, what three people do you know looking for a new home in the next 60 days? When you ask it in that way, it will stop people in their tracks, and they'll actually start to think of at least one person. I've seen it a lot of times where people say, hey, what three people do you know that need to sell a home in the next 60 days? And so people will start to think, and they'll think, I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that needs to sell. I don't know three people, sure, but I do know. I do have a friend that's looking to buy a house pretty soon. Okay, great. Here's my number, or put your number in my phone, and I'll contact them and help them. So that is the magic question, and I always try to include that in all the posts and advertisements that I run for my listings, or if I'm helping another agent market their property. I always recommend that they include the magic question in their post. And then, of course, I have my contact information. You'll notice that this magic question isn't really tied to this particular property, but this call to action here is. This is to schedule a private tour today, because I would love to sell my own listing. I've done it a handful of times, and let me just tell you, closing day is awesome when you do both sides of the deal. So call or text me at, here's my cell phone, and I'd like to use the cell phone emoji here. And then I put in the hashtags at the bottom of the post. So that is the copy structure that we have tried and tested, and it's proven. And this works better than anything I've ever tried, is this copy structure. Now let's get down to the actual photos or video, whatever you want to use. So what I recommend that you do is you actually use all or as many of the listing photos that you can in your post. So let's just say, for example, you may have a folder on your desktop that says like Facebook, or it may even be square. You can use different images. So you can use a square image on Facebook, or the dimensions that Facebook really likes are 1200 pixels by 630 pixels. And so if your photographer is just sending you a link of the photos, or if you're just taking the photos off of MLS to use in your posts, you can use canva.com, CANVA, and you can create a custom artboard that's 1200 by 630, upload all the photos into Canva, and then drag each photo down and make sure that it's sized correctly. That's going to be your best optimization for Facebook, is 1200 pixels by 630 pixels. That's what Facebook likes. That's what Facebook recommends. So if we're going to advertise on their platform, we're going to do what they like so that they'll show it to more people. And we'll get into that in a little bit more detail here shortly. So I upload all of the images, or as many as I can, into the post. And the reason for that is, you see this plus 16 here with the grayed out box. So what people naturally will do, if there are multiple images in the post and you can see like this plus 16, people will want to click on this one. They won't necessarily click on the first photo, but they will most likely click on this photo. And so once they click on that, then they can kind of go through all the photos in the post. But as soon as they do that, as soon as they click either the see more button at the top of the post to see more text, or they click any of the photos, that registers as an engagement, or it registers as a click on Facebook. And so that really is the key. The key is we add quite a bit of copy in the post, and we use all of the photos that we can because we want someone to engage with the post. And the reason for that is that the more people engage with your post, the more Facebook will show it to more people, right? So posts that get more engagement get shown to more people. That's the same for all social media platforms, and it makes perfect sense, right? I mean, when someone clicks the see more button or they click the photos, that is more time they are spending on the platform, which is ultimately what these social media companies want. So if your content forces people to spend more time on their platform, those platforms will show more of your content to more people, and that's really what we want. So people will always click through these photos. What you can see here is, and this is one of the better performing posts that I've done with this copy structure and using the photos, and you can see it got 85 likes and hearts, 59 comments, and 320 shares. So that, I can't remember, this was in the summer of 2022, so I can't remember the exact number of people reached, but I want to say it was over 50,000. So this post got a ton of engagement, and the reason why is because, well, it's an attractive condo in downtown Birmingham, sure, but we also use this copy structure and we use all of the photos to get more and more people to engage with the post, and that's why it had such a huge reach and it performed so well. So if you have any comments or questions while you're watching, feel free to drop those in. There's some instructions for you to do that. So here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to put a post together, and then I'm going to show you how we boost that post just for 25 bucks. And hopefully you can replicate some of the success like this post had. And so let's get that done right now. So I'm on my Facebook business page. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and upload the photos for my post. I'm going to use one of Jenny's listings. No, she won't mind me doing this. So I have all the photos here on my desktop. They are already sized in that 1200 by 630 pixel dimension. So click, and I'm just going to upload them in the order that I have them. There's a ton of photos that we got at this listing because it's massive. So I'm just going to put like the first 30 in here. You can be a little bit more selective. I'm just sort of doing this for time's sake. So while those photos are uploading, let me go ahead and add my location. So I'll click the check-in button. This property is in Oxford, Alabama. So I select that and it'll say I'm in Oxford, and then I want to click the Get Messages button, and that's going to add this gray little call to action button here onto my post, and that is the essential call to action. So, you know, and you might be saying, well, you've got multiple calls to action in your post if you're asking somebody to send you a message but also click the link to go to your website. Well, if they send me a message, I can go ahead and start engaging with these people right now. If they click the link, then they're going to my lead generation website, which is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for me. They're going to go through some photos, and then there's going to be a pop-up come up on screen while they're on my website, and it's going to be asking them if you'd like to see more photo. You guys have seen this. You know how IDX websites work. They're going to ask you for maybe an email address, and then for you to create maybe a temporary password. And in like kind of light gray in the box, it'll give them kind of a nudge or a suggestion. Hey, just use your cell phone as a password temporarily. Which is brilliant on behalf of kvCORE for doing that. But kvCORE isn't the only really great CRM out there, but it is the one that's provided for me for free, so that's the one that I use. Now let's go ahead and put our copy in. So I have the listing here pulled up, and I will go ahead and just select all of Jenny's description, and I'll paste that in. And here it is, and then go through and do my headline. So I will do a little emoji here. Maybe like just a house emoji would be fine. And so this property I know recently got a price reduction. And so what I can do so it's a 4-bed, 4.5 bath. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do hashtag new price, and I'm gonna say 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath. Let's say home for sale on, I believe this one is on like 14 acres, and it's under 800,000. So it's only $1 under 800,000, but it is under 800,000. So I'm going to go ahead and anchor that price into people's heads. Hashtag new price, 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath, home for sale on 14 acres in Oxford, under 800K. Enter, and there's my headline. I'm going to capitalize that O. So now is where I can say full listing and photos, and I can come back to my listing page, and I can grab this short direct link and paste that here, and I'll go ahead and copy this line, Command C on Mac, Control C on Windows, and put it down here again. And then I can say see more in front of that one. And then I want to go ahead and break up this text. And remember, 3 columns. So I have an emoji that I like to use. It's this little guy here. It's all the way down at the bottom of the emoji list. But I've got it here for frequently used. So I can do that, and I can select somewhere else just to kind of break it up some, and do another one, and come back down here, and now we're done with that. So here's what we've got so far. We've got our headline, we've got our link to our website. I can even take the HTTPS and the 2 forward slashes and take that down a little bit, and it will still work, still go to the same place. And then now let's finish it out. Of course, we're going to ask the magic question here. What 3 people do you know that need to sell a home in the next 60 days? Okay. And now our call to action, call or text me at, and I'm going to go grab the phone emoji. Schedule a private tour today, and then I can go in and add all of my hashtags. And hashtags just make your searchability better, because a lot of people do search by hashtags, more so on Twitter, Instagram, things like that, but it still works. And I can keep going and adding some more, but that's going to do for now. So my post is done. I'm done. It's that easy. So I post, and it will go ahead and do that stuff. Thank you. It just says Facebook user, so I just wanted to say thank you as well. Thanks for watching. Okay, so there's our post, and we're done. So now all we have to do is just put a little bit of juice behind it. So this is a great post. It's going to get extremely good engagement because it's a beautiful home. The copy looks really nice. There are multiple links. There's a good attractive headline. And also these photos are beautiful, and we got the plus 26 here. So all my life, people will be clicking this to see more of the photos. So we're already going to get good engagement. And there's also a send message button. I can't see it right now because I'm logged in as myself, but the consumers will see a send message button so that they can go ahead and interact with me. And so now what I want to do is let's just put $25 behind this. We'll select an area that is around this property, and let's see what kind of engagement we can generate. Let's get some eyeballs on this property, and perhaps even attract a buyer. Maybe not even for this property. Maybe they're just looking they're just looking at houses or looking for houses, or I can get their information from them by being helpful and offering value to them. I can put them in my CRM and work them, and maybe sometime in the future they'll purchase a home with me, and this $25 will turn into a nice big fat check. So let's go ahead and boost this post. So I click boost, and the first things first, I want to make sure I select the right ad account. You can tell I've run a lot of advertisements, got a lot of people whose ad accounts I have admin access to. So first thing we're going to do is, I don't want to let Facebook select the goal of this advertisement. I want to change this to get more engagement, because that's what I want. I want people to react to this post. I want them to like it. I want them to comment on it. I want them to share it. I want them to click. And the reason for that is, once they click, I've got them forever, and I'll show you how here in a second. So Advantage Creative, leverage Facebook's data to automatically deliver ad creative variations to people when likely to improve performance. I don't know a ton about this. I'm not as in tune with Facebook ads as I used to be, but I know what I know, and I know what works. So thank you, Facebook. I got this. Next is a special ad category. So what I'm going to do, we have to, as realtors, when we are promoting real estate services or listings, we have to identify this advertisement as a special ad category of housing. There's a long story behind that, litigation with Facebook and fair housing. Just know and keep in mind that for whatever advertisement you run on Facebook, you have to note that it is in a special ad category of housing. If you try to run too many ads without doing this, you will get into trouble. Your ad account will be shut down. You may even be locked out of your Facebook business page forever. So, there are some creative ways that you can get around it, but it's just not worth the risk if you're not somebody who's extremely well trained in Facebook advertising. So next is the audience. So we're going to click that little pin button here. We can't change the age. We can't change the gender because we are a special ad category, so just forget about it. Let's go ahead and select Oxford, Alabama, where this property is located. Boom. And it's going to do a minimum of 15 miles radius from that city. There are times where you can use, it might be better off for you to use a zip code if you're in a bigger city, or you can use the property's real address. But for the purposes of this property, Oxford, Alabama is not a terribly big city. So having this 15-mile radius would be just fine. You can, of course, spread that out. That's not a problem at all. It doesn't really matter. I can do 20 miles on this one. Oxford, Alabama is kind of almost halfway in between Birmingham and Atlanta. So honestly, most people kind of live along the interstate here. So 20 miles radius is going to be perfectly fine. For the detailed targeting, there are a lot of options that you can use. You can add these little different interests, but I prefer to remove those. That opens up the audience size bigger. And the fact of the matter is, I trust Facebook's algorithm to take the content of my post, the words within my post, and the photos, and also the people that are engaging with the post, to allow the algorithm to find who needs to see this. I trust that Facebook has enough data on hand already, and Facebook can just tell from the words in the post that Facebook knows who needs to see this, who has been engaging with other real estate platforms or things off of Facebook, like Zillow or Realtor.com, or if they're looking at pretty houses from other Facebook accounts. That Facebook's going to know who needs to see this, and so I just want to make it. I don't want to specify too much and just let the algorithm do what it does best, and we all know that it works. So then I save my audience, and so I'm done with that part. And here's just where I choose the duration. So I'm just going to do this for $25, and 7 days is totally fine. So typically what I like to do when I list a property is maybe, and I learned this from Gusty Goulas, team leader of the Gusty Goulas group. They're the number one team in Birmingham, Alabama. They will go in a coming soon status, and this of course depends on your MLS rules. But for us, we have a maximum coming soon allowable of 15 days. So what Gusty and his team did and what I adopted from them was I will go coming soon on a new listing on Monday, and then I will activate that listing on Thursday and then do an open house on Sunday. So what I like to do is go ahead and run my advertisement, do my post, run my advertisement on that Monday, and my hashtag at the top of the post will be coming soon. And then somewhere in this post, I'll say that activation date is Thursday, January 12th, showing start Thursday, January 12th, open house Sunday, January, whatever that is, from 2 to 4 p.m. And so that will be my advertisement. And so I can run that, I can start that on Monday, run it through for 7 days on an entire week, and that covers my entire week of that first week of advertising the listing. Now, if you're advertising a house that's been on the market forever, or you're advertising for a for sale by owner just to try to generate some leads or show them that you're the person they should really hire to help them, then none of this stuff will really matter. So just $25, 7 days on your duration is perfectly fine. Of course, our placement is Facebook, and that's it. We're done. All we have to do is hit boost post now. Give it some time. It's going to put it in review, and then you're going to get a notification when your post has been approved, your ad has been approved from Facebook, and boom, you're up and going. So that's as simple as it is to do this. It's super easy. This is something that you don't have to be an expert in. And let me just show you some of the data that will prove to you that this is an effective strategy. So here are just 3 random boosted posts that I have done in the past, and just show you some data that this is what you need to be keeping your eye on to see, is this working or is it not. So there are some KPIs, or key performance indicators, that will show you that this post is performing extremely well. And the 2 that are the best to keep in mind are the CPC, or cost per click, or the CTR, or the click-through rate. So the average cost per click for real estate advertisements on Facebook is $1.81. And so for these advertisements, all of the cost per click for those were just 1 penny. So average for Facebook ads in the real estate industry is $1.81, and using this structure and this strategy, it costs 1 penny. So that is a monumental difference in the cost. So I just wanted to show you that. Also, the click-through rate. So people that are clicking through either to see more text in the post, or clicking the photos, or actually clicking the link and going to your website. Industry average for real estate Facebook advertisements click-through rate is 0.99%, so less than 1%. And so what we're getting through this strategy that you can easily replicate yourself is 30%. So less than 1% is the average, and we're getting 30% click-through rates. So what that means is that almost 1/3 of people that actually see the advertisement on Facebook are actually engaging with the post, which is huge, because Facebook advertisements can be very difficult to get clients through. And the reason for that is because people are just scrolling through their feed and you are interrupting them. It's different from like a Google lead, because when you get Google leads, they can be more expensive because there's higher competition. But the reason that Google leads tend to be a bit more warm, a bit more open to communication and initiating an action, well, is because they initiated the action. They actually searched for real estate in your area, or they searched for a real estate in your area. They initiated the action, and you just happen to show up and be there. So I show you this. This isn't bragging. I mean, we had to go through a ton of shit, to be honest with you, to learn that this strategy really, really, really works. and you can easily replicate that for yourself, and I encourage you to do so. The final thing that I'll touch on, and this is a bit more of the high level stuff, but another reason that we use the copy structure that we do, encouraging people to click the See More button to read the rest of the text, and also using photos, all of the photos, so that people will click to see more of the photos, is because that is an engagement. And what we can do is we can put future ads in front of people that engage with our posts. So whether they clicked on the link to go to our website, that's a whole different ballgame, or they just simply engaged with our post, we can create advertisements in the future and send it to the people that engage with our posts. And how we do that is we are in Facebook Manager right now. We can go to, on this left side, we can select audiences, and we can run future advertisements for people when we create a custom audience of people that, Facebook page next, people that engaged with our post. So everyone who engaged with your page in the last year is the maximum. You can even do it from 10 days. And you can create an audience of people, let's just say test audience, and I can create an audience of everyone that's engaged with my page, or engaged with anybody who's visited my page, or people who engaged with any post or ad, or people who clicked any call to action button, or sent my message, or sent a message to my page, or just the people who currently like or follow my page. So if I wanted to put this advertisement out, I've done it for 7 days, I've spent only $25, and I've gotten a ton of engagement with the post with my ad for just $25. Well, the next week I can create an audience of all of the people that engaged with that advertisement, or just simply engage with my page in up to 365 days. I can create an audience of those people, and I can put another ad in front of them based off of their engagement. So now what they've done is they've seen my ad, they've seen my post, recommend, or just like marketing this listing, and then I can put another ad in front of them that says, hey, maybe you've got like a free PDF, like a home buyer guide, and it's downloadable, or they can just go to your website and click to download it. Well, you can put an ad in front of them that said, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I've got this free home buyer's guide just for you. You can go to my website and download it, whatever, or a home selling guide, anything like that. That's just that next step. So what you're building right now is called a sales funnel, where it's wider at the top and it gets narrow at the bottom. So what you're doing in a very easy way, this doesn't have to be super high level stuff, is you are building a sales funnel, and you're trying to get as many leads as possible up in the front, and then you're retargeting those people further down the funnel just to bring them down, warm them up, and hopefully they've gone from somebody that didn't know you to somebody that simply engaged with a post and could potentially even do business with you in the future. So I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you for sticking around. If you're watching this in the future, I do appreciate it. Again, my name is Zach Kennedy. I'm home marketing specialist and realtor with eXp Realty in Birmingham, and also with Jenny Williams and Jacob Williams at Get a Real Estate Life. We love helping real estate agents, and we're so happy that we could bring this value to you. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer those at some point. If not, I hope you guys have a great weekend and happy selling.